What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I got a brand new suggestion box review for you guys. I just watched a movie called A Bittersweet Life, starring Lee Byung-hun, Shin Min-ah, and Kim Roy-ha. First of all, I'm going to give a huge shout out to the one and only Lindy May. I appreciate the suggestions. Keep them coming. Please keep them coming. And thank you. All right. Let's talk about a very famous mafia movie trope. The trope where the mafia boss, for some reason, asks his right-hand man to please watch over his wife while he goes out of town for the weekend. Because we all know how it's going to end. I first saw something like this in a movie called Raging Bull. And that's not a mafia movie, but it's Scorsese. So I'm putting it in that category. Alright. Joe Pesci was asked by his brother, played by Robert De Niro, to take his wife out on the town. Chaperone her, if you will. And then later on, he beats the crap out of Joe Pesci because he thinks he's sleeping with his wife. Why did you ask me to do that? That's the point. And then in a casino, he actually sleeps with his wife. So I guess, he had it coming. He had it coming. Or we can refer to the long feud between Mr. Biggs versus R. Kelly. And if you don't know what I'm talking about a string of videos that R. Kelly had back in the day where he was working for a guy named Mr. Biggs, played by Ron Isley, and he asked him to take his wife around, drive her around, whatever she needs, get her there. And he definitely drove her around. All right, he got her there. Okay. The big mistake is asking R. Kelly to watch anybody for you. Okay, I'm not trying to make that low under the brow joke, but come on, man. A lot of other rap videos have done this too, like Busta Rhymes and Give It To Me, where his boss asked him to watch his wife at their beautiful house for the weekend. And of course, you know how that ends. So my point that I'm trying to make is A Bittersweet Life is based all around that trope. Okay? It's all about that. So my question would be, is this going to have a different result from the others? Or is it going to be the same thing over again and you can already guess what's going to happen? Let's find out. Let's get to it. A Bittersweet Life. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, you're probably not aware because you really would have to be into movies like this already. This came out in 2005 and I had no idea this existed. So you're probably not aware unless you like these kind of movies. Alright? A Bittersweet Life is pretty much about a well-known assassin named Soon Woo, who's been under his boss for about a good 7 years. And his boss of 7 years asked him to please watch over my wife while I'm gone. Oh yeah, by the way, I tend to believe that my wife is cheating on me. And if that is true, if you find out that that's true, please kill her and the guy she's sleeping with. All right. So when this comes to occurrence, sorry. Of course, for some reason, he looks into her eyes when he catches them, and he changes his mind. Suwoo changes his mind. He has a change of heart, and he tells her, "I need you to stop seeing this guy. All right, and I won't tell I won't tell your husband, and I won't kill you guys." All right. And of course, the boss somehow finds out this was the deal, and he puts a price on Soon Woo's head. And that's the premise of the movie. Positive number 1. Man, I can't even... There's no way getting around this. Sung Woo, the lead character, is a complete badass. He is badass status, okay? From the first scene, when they tell him that somebody won't leave the club, and so he goes back there by himself. No, not by himself, but him and one other guy. These are 4 guys they're going against, right? He still goes in there professional. Asks them one question, nicely. Of course, they refuse, and he commences to whooping their asses all over that room. Blood and broken bones and death everywhere. Okay? From that scene, I knew every time he was about to fight that it wasn't going to be good for the other party. Okay? That's just how much of a badass he was, and he handled his business. I also liked how he treated the other henchman, played by Kim Roy Ha, because that guy was totally unreliable. And Sung knew that. And he had no respect for this guy. And he showed that guy that he had no respect. So I like how he handled that. Because that guy deserved every disrespectful thing he said to him. He deserved it. Alright. Positive number 2. There are 2 metaphors. Well, narrated metaphors in this movie. Of course, I won't give away too much because I don't want to ruin the movie. But there's one for the beginning, one for the end. The beginning has to do with, a story that, a story of him talking to his master. All right, narrated by Sung Woo. And he asks his master, why do trees sway back and forth like that? And is it the wind? And the master says, no, this is how your mind perceives it. Can't say too much on that. But at the end, I can kind of elaborate on the end a little more, because then he has a dream, and he wakes up crying from his dream, and his master asks him why is he crying, and he tells his master, because my dream will never come true. And that's pretty much just referring to the life of an assassin. An assassin will never have a normal life. Okay, they will never be able to have a wife and kids, or just enjoy their day like a normal person, because of their job. Their job has forever ruined really any true happiness. Sad to say. But so those don't give anything away, though. Those have nothing to do with what the outcome of the movie is, okay? Or from what I've told. But I just like those metaphors and how they blended in with the plot of the movie, how things, you'll see when you watch the movie. Okay, positive number 3, my last positive for this, and this goes right back to how much of a badass the lead character is. This guy had 9 lives, I swear. Okay, he had 9 lives because not only he got his hand broke, this man has been stabbed, he's been buried alive, and he kept coming back. And that's what I enjoyed about this character. You could not keep him down. You could not keep this man down. I knew from the first 2 times after that, anytime he lost something or you thought it was over, it's not over. He's coming right back, and I knew it. I liked that. That gave me a lot of hope. Yes. This guy, he's a fighter. He's a fighter. His bounce back game is strong. All right. Now let's get to the negatives. Negative number 1, and I have to mention this. I could tell from the first, there were 2 signs at the beginning of the movie that told me that Sung Woo, as badass as he was going to screw this job up. Okay? He was going to mess it all up. Because, first of all, he would ask the wife, if you need me to take you home, I could drop you off, but I'm going to take you home too. when he shouldn't have even asked her. I'm going to drop you off and I'm going to come pick you up. You don't ask. But then even though he did follow her around a little bit after she said no, because of course she said, I'm cool, you don't have to, come pick me up. She said that because you know what's going on. But, she said that, and that was a big mistake on his behalf, in my opinion. Then there was sign number 2 that he was going to mess this up. And this is odd. 7 years of the job you do, and you develop a crush for one of your marks or potential marks, just like that, and to the point where you make that drastic of a decision that puts your life at stake. You're going to make that kind of decision. And you've been an assassin under that guy for 7 years. You should know better. That him making a decision not to tell his boss, at least, it's like you know where it's gonna go from here. And I hated how he did that. Like, bro, because she's beautiful and blah blah. It's your job. Do your job, bro. Do your job. I hated that part. All right, so I knew it was out of there when those 2 signs came up. All right, but this is negative number 2, because the boss. I got to get the boss in on this too. The boss, once he found out that this happened, he put a price on this man's head. Right? Tell me why the boss continued to play around with Sunwoo. You when you do things like this, you don't play around with the guy that you have the price on. You get this job done quick. You make no room for mistakes or escape. The whole time that the boss kidnapped him, brought him back to the headquarters, had him beat up, of course, tortured him a little bit, did all this crazy stuff with him. You are taking too long. And I know this is another famous trope that villains do. They tell their plans, or they play around with the hero or the other guy. And by this time the other guys escaped. And that's exactly what enough time was given for this. He could have escaped a long time ago. He escaped right after a couple more times of them playing around with him. In other words, it's like a tiger playing with his food, okay? It's like a tiger catching his prey and playing with it. And that's what the boss did. And I don't understand why he did it. Okay? Just pissed me off. My last negative about this. Where was the involvement of Hee-soo? That's the woman. That's the wife. Where was her involvement in this after everything went down? All right, this whole movie was because of her. All the pain, the deaths, the blood, the killing was because of her. This man risked his life because of you. And you just don't show up for the rest of the movie? That was quite odd to me. I wanted her to be more involved in this movie. Like, at least, if you're going to go through all this, at least develop some kind of relationship between you and Sunwoo. That did not take place. That did not happen. I thought that would happen. I thought there would be something deeper between them two. But there really wasn't. You kind of almost forget about the wife after the first half of the movie. So it left me empty. Like, where is the wife? This man is going through all these complications for you. And you're not even around. You're just like peace. This man got his hand jacked up. His hand's messed up. He got buried alive. He got stabbed in the gut. All kinds of crazy stuff for you. And you just disappeared. She just disappeared. So why would that? I couldn't do it. I could not do that. I could not do any of that. It didn't make any sense why she wasn't involved in this movie more. I wanted to see something so much more between Sung Woo and Hee Soo. I thought that would develop, but it didn't. And that's why I have to give this an I cool. Yes, that's right. I am giving it an I cool because I felt like there could have been so much more between those two characters. So it's like, what happened? If he's going to go through this, at least stick around somewhere. Give us that. It didn't happen. But other than that, I do recommend to watch this movie. The action is incredible. Thanks to Sung Woo, man. He did his thing. I want you to press that like button. Share this video. And if you haven't subscribed, you better subscribe.